I'm Stephen John Drew from the official GonnaGeek.com show, a weekly geek news podcast that is a part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other awesome geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 394 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. It's ATGN After Dark, part 3? Normally we record this show Sundays 11 a.m. Eastern. I had a scheduling conflict. We're recording this on March 10th, Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So ATGN After Dark, part 3. I'm Chris Farrell, and joining me, as per usual this week, my regular cohorts, the one, the only Anthony Bachman is here.
Wait, if it's ATGN After Dark, I should have vodka, not water. What the fuck?
I mean, if you want to go get some right now, we won't stop you.
I may have to.
That's fair. And also,
it's past 6 o'clock. It's drinking time.
Also joining us, one Willie D. Nelson with a freshly shined dome. It appears.
Good evening.
No, actually, it appears.
No, this is my frighteningly face, but no. It's not freshly shaven. Sadly, I was a little lazy. I trimmed it and I used one of those little face trimmers, little curvature thing. I've never done that before, just that because I never thought it really did well. But I just ran over. I was like, I feel lazy today. I don't want to shave it in the shower. I usually shave my head in the showers, put some conditioner on the head, and that's what I use as shaving cream. It doesn't. I need to get a new shaver. We're all into that.
I normally just take the hair clippers and take the guard off and run it every 2 weeks. That's my plan right now. And this has been hair advice from two bald dudes with a beard.
I mean,
because we don't have good hair advice because our hair ran away from us.
Chris, do you think you would ever
still grow some hair on top of their head?
Chris, do you think you would ever start growing your hair out again?
God, no. I don't have enough left. It'd look bad.
Like you don't foresee that ever happening to you. Like me either. Like, is there a way? I would the hair treatment, like the hair laser removal. You think they would do that for the head?
You can get your head lasered.
You can do that. My father's plan, dad's plan when he retired from the Air Force, was he wanted to grow a giant long beard and grow his hair out. He has the same kind of hairline I do. And he then wanted to light his hair on fire so that he could burn the root out so it would never grow back.
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time?
He wanted to light his hair on fire to burn the root out. My mother told him no. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it works that way either, sure he was joking.
I mean, scar tissue, I guess, would cover it over so it would work, but then you have all that scar. No, that wouldn't be a good look. No, I had to think about it. Like, whoa. Like, it would be interesting, but no. Like, those people who do, like, instead of tattoos, they get those scarifications where it just raises the skin up. So
yeah,
it's kind of like a tattoo.
That would be different, too.
Yeah, I mean, I could say, especially if someone has, like, a darker skin. I'm not being racist at all. Don't look at me like that. Since you can't really do ink that well, like, so they get the scarification, it makes sense.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree.
Don't you look at me like I'm a racist.
I'm digging what you're putting down, buddy. I'm digging what you're putting down.
And I do have a question for the beginning of the show here.
Oh.
No, I'll wait for Bachman to get here back, or I'll ask you, and you can just get the repeat of the question. Bachman, here he comes.
Perfect timing.
I've heard I've had 3 different reactions to this question so far. The people have asked.
All right.
One, either they understand it, they understand my question, they kind of go with it. 2, they do not understand it at all. Like, they just don't understand the question, and I have to explain it a lot more, and I'm not even sure if they're fully understanding it. Or 3, they have a very negative response to this question. I don't understand why that is. It's a very simple question, and it's not like I'm asking for a right or a wrong answer. It's more to get like a conversation going. But
I'm scared. I'll be honest.
I've been hearing about this damn question for 5 days. So just ask the fucking question.
4 days technically. So we're like, are any of us religious at all?
No,
not exactly.
So. Bachman's not religious. Chris not religious.
I was baptized. I stopped being religious when I hit the age of reason.
I'm not sure if I've been back. I think my family's
He's got
Baptist. but I don't
vodka in
think
that
I
cup.
know
It's going to
this.
get sassy.
Oh, that explains why I approve you're leaving now.
Now,
so here's the question.
It's ATGN After Dark.
Well, here, take you a big old gulp for this question. I said a big gulp. Whip it into your throat. All right. So, do you think Joan of Arc is canon to the Bible? Now, do you understand the question?
I think so.
Because a lot of people seem like they just don't
So,
understand. Like,
I don't
Kinda
know
like,
that I do. So please clarify it so that those watching live or listening later can understand what you're meaning, and me, because I don't think I'm understanding.
so what I know of Joan of Arc is that her whole story was that she talked to God. Like, she had a message from God, right? And she went and helped France with the 100-Year War, right? And I know she was made later into a saint after her death. I did see that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But so would you consider the story of Joan of Arc, who is that historically happened? Like, she did help. But the whole talking to God thing, that's up in the air, of course, because that's, now like kind of like Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is not in the Star Wars movies, but it is canon to Star Wars, the story, right?
Yes, because Disney said so. There was in this case, the supreme Disney being said Baby Yoda is canon.
Or if you want to go before Disney bought it out, like all the extended universe books for Star Wars, like they were all considered canon to Star Wars, the movies and everything. Like, but of course, before, Disney took over.
No, Joan of Arc couldn't be canon to the Bible because the Bible was written before her story ever happened. So,
yeah.
Okay, so I had a friend of mine who got very upset with this question. He was like angry with it. Like, he said the same thing. He was like, "No, because the Bible was already written before." I was like, "I understand that." Like, well, I mean, Baby Yoda was made after all these Star Wars movies and stuff came out. So that story is considered canon though, even though it's after everything.
Yeah, that's also because you don't have the George Lucas, the guy who actually originally wrote the first Bible, around to put yay or nay on anything.
All right, little side tangent question. Do you think George Lucas is happy with Baby Yoda? Like, he considers he's happy with the canon of Baby Yoda?
Seems like it. He's been on set with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. They've got photos of him holding the Baby Yoda puppet and smiling about it. So,
I never seen anything about it or even thought about it before.
I think what he's happy with is $4 billion and Dave Filoni moving forward with his universe.
Did with the whole deal with him, did he get to keep any of the merchandising rights at all?
I think
George Lucas?
My understanding was he got straight cash, homie, to quote Randy Moss.
Okay, so it's all out of his hands.
That's my understanding. He can still be
hired as a consultant if they want to.
And he was actually brought in to consult on Solo, a Star Wars story, and on parts of The Mandalorian. He was invited to the set and traded notes with Favreau and Filoni, is my understanding.
And I'll say Solo, a Star Wars movie, didn't deserve, I remember it got a lot of flack, at least a bit, and I don't think it deserved that.
It doesn't deserve the hate it got.
It got dumped on. It was still pretty good. I just rewatched it again. I enjoyed it.
Okay. But so back to the Joan of Arc. So Bachman, you say straight up no, because it was made after the Bible and all that. Like, even though it was like someone talking to God, like had a message from God to do a thing, you would not consider it canon.
No, it's not canon.
And you, Chris?
I would not assume so, because it was not written when the rest of the things were written. And in fact, the New Testament would have been written prior to Joan of Arc as well. And
it didn't mention anybody in the future leading France to win a war after hearing voices from God.
So she's effectively the J.J. Abrams sequel trilogy, is what you're saying here. The prequels are the Old Testament. The original trilogy is the New Testament. Well, I guess we should flip that around if we go in date order. So the original trilogy...
And that's how I feel about it, too.
Yeah. Original trilogy is the Old Testament. The New Testament is the prequel trilogy. And then Joan of Arc, you could then argue, is part of the J.J. Abrams.
She's the Rey. She's the Rey of the...
Joan of Arc is Rey.
Although technically isn't the Quran like the third part? If you look at it like that, don't they also believe in the Old Testament too? I can't remember. I could be very wrong on this.
You're asking the wrong person here. My
think I remember
in religious studies is light, to say the least.
The way I thought I heard it described to me one time, I forget where I read it or someone told me, I cannot remember, so long ago. That was like, think of like movie trilogy. Like there was an original movie, that's the Old Testament. The second in the series, the New Testament, and then the third one is like the Quran. This way someone described to me, like Jewish people, they think the first movie, great. The second movie, we don't need any of those. We don't need them. That doesn't make sense with it. We can get rid of them. Christians or Catholics, whatever you want to say, the word, they think, yeah, we believe in the first movie was good. The second movie did better. It was Godfather 2. It was way better.
Fair.
And the Quran say, yeah, the first one was good. It was all right. We deal with it. The second movie, it had their prophet they had in there. We didn't believe it. The third movie brought in a whole new prophet. And we believe in him a lot more better. He's a better prophet. He's our prophet. That's the way I heard it described before. I could be very wrong on that, though. Not claiming that is right.
Oh, I have no clue on any of that stuff.
But I like how someone put it into movies and made me help understand it. If that is what really is, that'd be cool. I think that'd be interesting. But I mean, my question for Joan of Arc being canon was not to have a right or wrong answer. I'm sure there's gray for everybody with that. It was just more like a talking point because I thought it was just a cool question. What brought it up, and I told you about this, Bachman, the song "She's So High" by Tal Bachman made me think about it because, it goes like Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, or Aphrodite. And I was like, wait, was Joan of Arc known for being beautiful? And then it started maybe put over those three people or those other two people, and it made me think wait, was Joan of Arc considered canon in the Bible? I know it was not in the Bible. I know that. But to be, yeah, it could go along with a side story, and people reading the Bible are like, yeah, this is a little side story. That's okay with it. Yeah, it makes sense. Put it in, put it with it. Not in there, but with it. Just something a little interesting to think about.
It's a thought that I had not thought of before, Willie, so kudos to you for having a different thing for us to think about, because let's be honest, we don't generally get into the religious studies of things here on the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast.
Well, my point was not to be religious or anything. It was more the idea of something being like that to join into something with as much history as it has.
Sure.
Their own history. I'm not going to say good on that, but it's a philosophical question too, kind of. It's to get to a conversation to be had, not so much to have a right or wrong answer.
Makes sense to me.
And now, I was actually wrong on my thinking. I was right about you, Chris, for real, that how you would react to it. Bachman, I thought you would be like my friend who was just upset and angry with it. Not upset with it, but he was just angry, no, this is the... Yeah, because no offense, Bachman. He's like that.
What happened just there?
No. Half of what he said
Did
was
I cut?
garbled.
Yeah,
Did I cut out?
Yeah, it pooped itself temporarily.
Oh, I just say Bob, when you do react to some things like that, I don't mean to to make you angry or anything. You are a good friend, Bachman. I will say that first and foremost. But you do have some anger to some things.
That's
I still love you as a friend.
He's always angry.
I love you as a friend, Bachman. Chris, I love you too as a friend. Don't you ever think otherwise.
I didn't think otherwise, but now I'm thinking otherwise because it's he wanted me not to. So this is all a conspiracy. So a left-wing or right-wing conspiracy. I'm not sure which wing is after me. Which one is it? I don't know.
But if you have both the wings, you can fly.
Are they regular wings or bat wings or robot wings?
Extra crispy wings?
With spicy garlic sauce on them?
Hell yes.
Oh, those are some good wings.
Boneless, spicy garlic. Good shit. Good shit.
Now I want chicken wings. I'm really distracted. I can't transition us to the news. Willie, you had something else for us because I'm incapable of doing transition because I'm thinking of spicy garlic chicken wings. Oh my god!
So I had a little bit of a segment I want to do to help people out if they're unsure of something to play. Video gamers that don't really have a nowhere, they're just finished the game and they don't know where to go. I will have a little segment called need a better title. I'll just have it as Little Random Games, LRG. If you could have any other better ideas, I'm open to suggestion. It doesn't have to be right this second. The game I do want to talk. I see you're writing stuff down already. I do want to mention this week for the Little Random Games segment is Onrush. Now, this is a team-based racing objective game. All right. I will say it feels like a spiritual successor to the Burnout series, like a natural evolution to that gameplay. If they left what they were as mainly a racing game, trying to be first place. because the racing aspect is secondary to the action part of it and the objectives of the game. Like, you remember on Burnout, the big part was like, stunting into people or hitting them from behind and crashing and wrecking them. And, it shows their hit and it goes in slow motions. Again, that was so much fun. This game does that too. And it just gives you that good feel when you hit a car and just flips over, burns up. That's a fun feeling. Like the environment in the game is just as much an obstacle as you're driving past trees and post-apocalyptic cities and all that, weaving in and out. Jumps come up that are not only fun, but upcoming pun wasn't originally intended, but very much appreciated. Also, ramp up the fun factor. Ramp, jump, you get it. There are different types of...
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a second. I'm a little slow because it's 8:58 p.m. and it's getting close to my bedtime because I'm an old man, but I finally got it.
Oh, I do have something to say about that old man going to bed early thing after this. Foreshadowing. I will say this too right now. This game was free for PS Plus. I can't remember what month it was. It was about a year ago, maybe a little more. I can't remember. And I just downloaded it and tried it out, and I had so much fun with it. That's why I want to bring it to attention, because little known games could use a little bit of extra attention, for something that gives you so much fun in it. There are different types of vehicles to drive, from smaller, nimbler, weak-armored motorcycles, all the way to drive something like Warthog's Army ATV from Twisted Metal 2, if you remember that thing. Nice. I did have affinity for Twisted Metal 2, but yeah, like an Army ATV, like 6 wheels and all that. Big things like that you can drive, which are slow on acceleration but have so much more momentum for ramming into enemy vehicles. Each class of vehicle comes with its own way to gain boost that is activated from causing destruction on other enemies, or getting air, or driving just close to enemy vehicles, or a multitude of other factors. They all have different ways to gain boost. Because like Burnout, there's a boost meter and all that. And then I think any little thing you did added a boost in Burnout, but this is a little bit different. Also, each class comes with a special passive ability. Off the top of my head, I do remember one of the 2 types of motorcycles. When you die, when you get crashed, you'll leave a little boost behind you that your teammates can hit and give them a little extra boost charge. And also, taking out enemies builds up a special ability that's activated manually as an ability for each different vehicle. They all have different ones. These abilities come in 2 forms: damage damage your opponents, or to slow down the opposite team, or also to or damage or slow down the opposite team, or to boost your team to get an advantage. So it's either hurting the other team or helping your team. Those are 2 types of different abilities you can do. The tracks are looped for laps, but they're not looking for getting lap 1, lap 2. That's not the thing. It's just pretty much to kind of keep you going around loop to do the objectives. I do know one objective is to keep inside of a highlighted circle that's usually in the front of the pack. And the more you kind of King of the Hill, where the more vehicles for your team that are in the circle, you start getting points for it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And you're trying to bunt out other enemy vehicles from the circle, or you're trying to wreck them outright, and you're also trying to stay in the circle. It's a little bit slower than your max speed, or if you're one of the bigger vehicles, it's kind of hard to keep up with. But that's why you always have the boost. So it's a little bit hard like that. Other things, other objectives are the team that uses the most boost. So you have to try and earn all your boosts right up and keep holding that boost button down. And the team that reaches the objective score for the boost building overall wins the round. And they do change up each round, what gameplay you're going on. And the single player pretty much just there. You do individuals, and there are rounds to win. The single player I played mostly. I only touched on the online because it's not really a lot of people online for it, but it is. It's not too hard to find a match. I think it's actually quicker than Dead by Daylight being a survivor. To pull that back to that.
That's not saying much.
I know, but it is quicker than that. Yeah. Because of course you don't have.
You can't get a book read during the night of playing Dead by Daylight while you're waiting for matches.
Oh, what do you mean you can?
I was saying because Dead by Daylight you can.
Oh, and since I'm a tan gentleman, this episode brought to you by Pepsi.
How much is Pepsi paying us for
Born
this free
in the
plug?
Carolinas, just like Willie D. Nelson is. Chris, weren't you born in the Carolinas too, or are you
South
only
Carolina,
from South Carolina?
Myrtle Beach.
You were born in Myrtle
I was
Beach?
born in Myrtle. I'm a beach
North
baby.
Myrtle or South Myrtle?
I don't know the right answer to that.
Well, North Myrtle is the nice part.
I don't. I would have to look to see where the hospital I was born in is
It
considered.
doesn't matter. You're still a great guy. I love you, buddy.
I
Chris,
lived
for
in,
real is the only thing I'm going to call you, and I love you, buddy.
Well, Stephen John Drew coined that phrase back in 2013 when I was on the Fanboy Buzz. So you're a little.
Well, I'm
late.
stealing it from him. I hope he appreciates it.
He is your
Spell
bell buddy, so it's okay for you to thieve from him. You see?
Ring a ding ding. Hey, we ring each other's bell. Ring
Heyo.
my bell. Oh, and yeah. So Onrush, if you're looking for like a little small game just in between major games, it's a very worthwhile game. I'm not even sure how much it is because, like I said, I got it for PS Plus, and I can't go back into the PlayStation Store to see how much they're charging for it because, it just says purchased under where the price would be. But I'm sure it's like budget priced. Or might go on sale every now and then.
Onrush Digital Edition in the PS4 store, $59.99. It says.
Also, it's full price. I'm sure it goes on sale.
That's my
It is
guess.
a couple years old.
It's by Square
And,
Enix,
you're guessing.
evidently.
Oh, really? I just forgot about. I think I remember seeing that because I haven't played it for a while for myself. I just remember I had so much fun with it, especially as being, I wanted that taste of Burnout because Burnout, I didn't like when they just went to open world, like then finding the races like that. It was fun, but it's not what I wanted Burnout to become.
That's fair. So I went and looked on Amazon to see what Onrush is going for the PS4 right now. If you want a brand new copy, it's $13.75. If you're okay with a used copy, it's $3.50. So this is
there you go.
an affordable game to pick up. Not the digital version, mind you.
Can you do me a favor?
Digital.
Chris, can you do me a favor? Can you also look up the Xbox One? Because I'm all inclusive here. I want everyone to have fun with, because I'm sure it's not a PlayStation 4 exclusive on console.
It is not. I see that it is on both consoles, which I didn't realize, so I'm trying to pull that up right now.
And I'm sure I would ask on PC, but I'm sure you guys can look up on Steam. It is very easy to do there. I mean, Steam's just easy. I never actually use Steam, so I don't know.
On Amazon is $12.95 for a used like new copy. They don't have any.
It's a little
new
more
copies.
expensive.
Well, I mean, they don't have any new copies
more
left.
intense.
They're sold
So
out. So I was looking to see on some other websites, like, let's see what
Does it give a
GameStop
price for what the new is?
They're not even.
Even if
offering
it is
the new
on.
one.
Okay. I was
So-
kind of curious if they just told you, but
For instance, GameStop, it's $30 new or $20 pre-owned, and I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely go to Amazon, guys.
Yeah, go Amazon or Best Buy or Wally World. Well, Wally World may not have it, or unless you want to support Reggie, he's the new CEO of GameStop or whatever now.
You know what? Actually, I think I might have a name for this segment. I'm going to call it Willie's Mushroom Stamp of Approval, Game Edition. That's what I'm going to call it, guys. Sorry, Willie's Mushroom Stamp of Approval, Game Edition. And this does get the Mushroom Stamp of Approval.
Of course it does.
Of course it does.
I'm sorry. Why am I looking at Bachman's head down there beside you, Chris?
Because he
what
hosted
did that say?
us. That's what I didn't realize
Okay.
the chat room covered it up, but.
Okay, I part of my screen's like blocked out, so I don't see your full screen. So
the digital version of Onrush for the Xbox One you can buy in their store for $24.99. It is
that's definitely worth it.
It is also Xbox One X enhanced, meaning 4K graphics and visuals. So I assume it's
Yeah, I
probably the
guess it
same for
didn't
PS4 Pro.
I don't know because apparently Overwatch is Xbox One X. God, I hate that title. Is like bumped up, like does have upgrades with it, but the PS4 Pro does not. I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure like the PS4 Pro is a little bit, or probably a little bit less power enhanced.
It is much
compared
less
to
powerful than the Xbox One X.
And I don't know why PS4 Pro they didn't put the 4K Blu-ray drive in it. That makes no sense to me. You own it.
Microsoft was paying licensing fees to put one in the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S, and Sony's like, hell with that. We ain't doing it.
I mean, they should have. I mean, they should have just ate that cost too. They should not made it any more pricier. They should just ate the cost for it.
That's what I figured.
I mean, because sometimes you have to do that with these things. Like you have to do that. That's how the console business runs. They sell consoles at a loss when they first come out on purpose, because they know they're going to get it on the back end with the first party games, and like and later on when the system drops in price too, like all their components get cheaper anyway. They just know, they already know. So why they do that? Like,
Willie,
I'm very jealous with the Xbox for that.
Willie, that's why that's going to be so interesting to watch going forward with PS5 and Xbox Series X, because we're at the very beginning of a next generation now, which is how narrow can they cut that price to try and get a bunch of consoles out there to try and make money later down the line? And we don't know anything about price points. Anyone that's telling you they know the price point of the PS5 or the new Xbox, they don't. They're looking at parts and making a guess as to what it is. For all
we don't even know anything about the PS5 really at all, except for a little handful of things.
But other than that, nothing crazy. Anyone who's saying they know what the prices are going to be doesn't, because for all we know, Microsoft or Sony could be like, man, we just want to get consoles out there, and they could sell it at a couple $100 loss theoretically. Microsoft got tons of money. They don't care. They want to get consoles out there.
I've heard speculations that the next PlayStation is going to probably run at 2 different SKUs. Like they're going to run a beefier model out the gate. I don't think that's going to be true. They might run like a beefier hard drive, like a bigger size hard drive maybe at the gate, but they're not going to run like a PS5 Pro out the gate. That doesn't make sense.
That's because I'm thinking is that both Xbox and PlayStation are going to have 2 SKUs for the next.
It'll be the PS5 with 2 terabytes and the PS5 with 10 terabytes.
I don't think it's going to be that. The dirt sheets I've read was that there's going to be a super high spec one and a lower spec one.
Oh, now, like in performance-wise?
Performance-wise. I've seen
no.
that in a few places.
Please don't.
Now, I don't know what Microsoft is going to do. I thought that they might do that same thing at first, but when they basically said all first-party games are going to be playable on any Xbox, they kind of reduced the need to put a lower-tier Xbox.
I hope they mean their next Xbox. Wait, I can't remember. Is that what did the next console for Xbox already have a name? I can't remember.
Xbox Series X.
Is that the full name? Is that like
the official name of
project
the new
name?
one?
Okay.
And they did announce.
Oh god, that's dumb.
Gamer developers.
No offense.
GDC is canceled next week because of coronavirus concerns. But they did announce that they'll be revealing more specs and background on Xbox Series X direct to YouTube. They're going to live stream it and stuff when they would have showed it off at GDC. So next week, probably about this time as we're recording this episode, maybe the day after, they're going to start dropping some more details on what's coming in the next-gen Xbox. And take the fanboy wars and the console war element out of it aside. For both Sony and Microsoft, I'm curious to see what the specs are they're going to drop in these things. And how they're going to be able to make someone be like, oh, I'm going to drop the money to buy this. Because, at least in Microsoft's case, and this is to their credit but hurts them, the fact that they've pretty much said all first-party games are playable on any Xbox for the next few years makes me, as a current Xbox One X user, be less likely to buy a new console on day one.
Yeah, so they mean all like Xbox Ones. They don't just mean the new, the differences in the new X series. So that doesn't make any sense.
When Halo Infinite drops, it will be on Game Pass also, they announced. It's on Game Pass the day it comes out. It will launch with Xbox One Series X as a console exclusive, as a Xbox exclusive. It will be playable on all Xbox One and Xbox Series X consoles, and you will get I can't remember the term they used. We talked about it in the Gonna Geek show, and I would have to find my notes there. But they have basically said you buy the game once for whatever console you're on, and it plays on any console, specs wise. And they said third-party developers can also choose to do this if they want to. And that same day, CD Projekt Red came out on Twitter and said, we believe if you buy the game once, you should be able to play it on any of your Xbox consoles. So if you buy it for Xbox One when you buy it for Xbox One, you will then get a free upgrade to the Xbox Series X version.
Okay,
should you get
free upgrade.
Free upgrade.
Now this reminds me. Now PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, they did that. It was PlayStation Vita. They're called cross-buy. PlayStation Vita and PS3 games.
You are correct.
You could do it with. You buy the PS3 version. You also got the access to, I guess, a digital copy of the game for the Vita. And this is all. And they were also doing the cross-play too, where you could play your games on the Vita through the Wi-Fi. Like it would be like the system would just be hosting, and the video stream would come to your Vita. And I never really tried it, so can't tell you if that really worked back then. But I'm trying to think that was there any games like that from PS3 to PS4 that you could?
That I don't know.
It seems like I do know you could buy upgrades for games. Black Flag was just the next gen game, wasn't it? There was no.
I think it was just
360 and PS3.
Yeah. Sure.
Like that is not. Ooh, I don't like that at all. But now are they talking about physically? Like you could buy the disc and it would work in a Xbox One and a Series X?
That is correct. For all first-party games, it'll work that way, and for all third-party people who want to do that, it will work the same way. And CD Projekt Red came out and said, if you buy the game on Xbox One, because it comes out prior to the release of Series X, you get a free upgrade so that it is playable with the better graphics and things like that on Series X. No other third-party vendors have mentioned that I've seen yet, but...
Now, this make me think of this is how they're going to do it. It's not going to be like you put the disc in the Series X and and you have the Xbox One edition. Like, I don't think... This is just speculation for me, because remember the Xbox One, originally when it was coming out, it was going to have, like, where the disc was just going to be there and you had to download the game, wasn't it? When they were going to say it's like that. And the disc was just like an unlock to play, like it has to be in there to read it to play the games. How they originally came out.
I don't know how the DRM is going to work on this. They haven't gotten into that, because the original plan for the Xbox was you could buy a game with a disc and you could convert your license to digital if you wanted and sell them back the disc, things like that. You could give your digital game away once to someone else and then they wouldn't be able to. Things like that went away. But I had to find the article. So what this technology is that they're putting in place that allows you to upscale is they have something called Microsoft Smart Delivery Program. And the quote that Phil Spencer had put in his blog post says, this technology enables you to buy a game once and know that whether you're playing on Xbox One or Xbox Series X, you're getting the right version of that game on whatever Xbox you're playing on. We're making the commitment to use smart delivery on all our exclusive Xbox Game Studio titles, including Halo Infinite, ensuring you only have to purchase a title once in order to play the best available version for whichever Xbox console you choose to play on. This technology is available to all developers and publishers, and they can choose to use it for titles that will be released on Xbox One first and then come to Xbox Series X later. Cyberpunk 2077 developers had said that they're all in on that, and they're going that path as well.
Okay, two things. I'm thinking that when you put in like the Xbox One version of the game, I'm speculating that it will just put it in as a download for the digital copy of the Series X. So, okay.
Yeah, that's what I assume it's going to be, because that's effectively how most of these games work anymore, is it installs a few things off the disc and then downloads the rest of it, and you basically use your disc as DRM. It spins the disc, ensures you own it, and then pulls everything off the hard drive.
I mean, the last physical game I bought for my PS4 is when Titanfall 2 was brand new. My buddy talked me into it because Target was having a sale, like buy 2 games, get 1 free or something like that. And so we bought 3 copies of Titanfall 2 and just got, third one free. We just all, made the price cheaper for everyone together. $40 instead of $60, that was the smartest thing we did.
Yeah, so this Xbox Smart Delivery stuff they're talking about, I'm curious to see what happens there, because remember, some of the ridiculousness we had with GTA 5 coming out on both consoles. You could play it on your Xbox, but if you wanted to play on Xbox One, you had to buy a brand new game and stuff like that. Theoretically, Rockstar could be like, hey, we're going to use this Smart Delivery tool to make it so that your, let's call it GTA 6, let's say hypothetically that comes out sometime in the next 2 years, could play on Xbox One and Series X regardless. Interesting stuff. It'll be interesting in that regard.
Since you brought it up, I'm gonna say what's the thing when you predict the future? My prediction. That's the word. Prediction. My prediction is you won't see a Grand Theft Auto for at least 4 more years since Red Dead came out. They have a long cycle to bring out those big games like that. It's a long cycle. And plus, they're probably still making Grand Theft Auto 5 money from the shark cards or whatever they're called. They are.
And the rumor is that Bully 2 is ahead of GTA 6.
I'm not going to believe that's coming. I don't even think they're making that. Did they even? Is that just speculation that they're developing it? I've seen it in a few
places, but
I've seen it for years too.
The sourcing
but
is not great. Let's put it that way.
And I'm still pissed off when they put out Bully for the next gen, at least on the PS4. I don't know if they did it for the Xbox. The copy or version of it came out for the Xbox 360 when Bully was, because 360 came out a year before the other 2 systems, the Wii or the PS3. And so Bully came out with an edition for the Xbox 360 that had extra things in it. And then when they put it out for the PS4 and the Xbox One, at least on the PS4, because I bought it and played it, they didn't include the exclusive Xbox 360 extra content, and I was a little upset by that. I don't know if they did it for the Xbox though. If they included it with that,
I
or the
don't
Xbox
know.
One, I should say, to specify.
Yeah, I can't tell you there.
Thank you, Chris, for all that information. And two, I wonder if PlayStation's going to be following suit with this. I know they want to be competitive, but how much competitive do they have to be? Since my news of the week a couple weeks ago, from like seeing the console sales, like Xbox One was on the bottom of the list, and that surprised the hell out of me. I was not expecting that to be that low.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's surprising
I don't have
too.
any hate toward Xbox One. I do have hate towards the naming of their fucking systems. I will always say that, but the system itself, good system. I am very jealous that the Xbox One X, Jesus Christ, that fucking name, can play 4K Blu-rays, and my PlayStation 4 Pro can't. Sony, you own the rights to Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray. You own the patent for it. Just do it. Like, come on, that was a dumb decision. Like, that's funny that Xbox has to pay money to Sony every time they sell a console or a game. They get some of that money because they have to make the disc out of Blu-ray disc. Do you know of any games have come out now even come close to the storage capacity of a dual layer Blu-ray disc, which is 50 gigs, right?
I thought it was more.
A single layer is 25. And a dual layer is 50 gigabytes
I
of
had
data.
to
They
install
can hold.
like 40 gigs for Anthem, I think it was.
I think that's because they just got lazy with it and all the updates and stuff.
No,
Did
that was
you
off
got
the
a brand new,
disc.
didn't you?
Yeah, it was
Oh.
off the disc, and then it had different patch on top of that.
Like
Anthem
I can
takes
understand
like 80
for
gigs
like
on my hard drive.
I understand with like Overwatch and Dead by Daylight because they keep adding content after that disc. They've added so much to it, so that makes sense. Even though it takes a lot of space up, and I'm still upset that was it Black Ops 2 or was it no Black Ops 3 takes so much extra space. Like it takes like a terabyte, I think maybe, or is like it's a lot of gigabytes. I don't.
It can't
I
be
could
a
be wrong.
terabyte.
No. I can't be right. I could be wrong on that. I forget when I downloaded. It was like the download was so gigantic. I got rid of that. I usually wouldn't for games I stopped playing because I got that 4 terabyte external hard drive. I'm like I think I got down. I'm down to. Oh, excuse the hell out of me with that. Down to underneath a terabyte free right now. And I can go in and delete a bunch of games that I just don't play, but there are still a bunch of games like are constant rotation where like friends come over. Like, sad to say it, Wheel of Fortune is still a fun game for friends. All the Jackbox games, although those are really tiny in comparison to any other game. And yeah, Dead by Daylight takes a lot of space, but I'm still keeping that. And hell, I could probably go in and delete a bunch of those random screenshots I've taken. And video I actually just saved from, was it Sunday night we were playing Bachman? This is going to be foreshadowing to what I've been getting into. I'm going to be talking about some bullshit moment. Yeah, you didn't believe me on it first, but foreshadowing.
No.
We'll get back to it.
I figured it was just some dedicated server bullshit. It
Yeah,
was not.
we'll get into it. A little bit of foreshadowing. But that's all I got to say about that, Chris. Thank you for bringing that information up, Chris.
Hey, sometimes I know things.
Yeah, you know a lot more than I do, buddy. I'm just here talking about random stuff I think I've heard of.
Sometimes I drink and know things.
That's from one of the good seasons since before it got bad. Game of Thrones, if you for all you listeners and watchers, that last season I had my problems with.
I still haven't watched the last season yet.
I'm sure you already know exactly what happens. I'm sure you.
Oh, yo, I've heard
That's
everything.
what-
Yeah, but I just haven't watched it yet.
Just to
I'll
touch
watch
on base.
I'll watch the last of it at some point.
Just touch on base, like on a scale of 1 to 10, Daenerys going crazy went from like a 1 to 3 in the first 7 seasons, and then for some reason in like 2 episodes went from the 3 to the 10 super fast. Like whoa, that's bad writing.
Yeah, it's
All right, maybe a 1 to a
land.
4, maybe
Hard
1 to
to
a
stick the land.
5. But they jumped so many spaces in the span, like 2 to 3 episodes. Like, what are you doing here? That's all I'll say to that. Chris, I don't know if you want to move on. It's up to you, buddy.
I don't know anything about what we're talking about, so it confuses me. And when I get confused, I like
Hit
to
the button.
buttons.
I appreciate that about you.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
Yes, everyone, it's the news of the week. It's that part of the show where we run down what's in our minds some of the most interesting, geeky, and or nerdy news to have popped up. And real quick, those of you that are watching live, we had some weird issues with the video stream going out. I did restart the stream, and it looks like it is stable now. I have no idea why the stream was just blowing up like it was, but we are back.
I thought that was only on my end.
No, there was something weird going on.
I saw
and
something.
It was also then screwing up the camera feed going back to you guys, but it seems like it's stable. The weird thing is I never dropped any frames. It just would blow up the encoder temporarily. So I restarted the stream, and it seems to have successfully been okay. The nice thing is we were recording the entire time I was fighting getting the stream back up, so hopefully less editing for me.
We just live in the hard news.
It looks better on my Twitch now. It looks better on my Twitch now because I have it up for the chat.
Yeah, so
we just been given the extreme amount of news and opinions, and it was just too much for the server.
Yep. So
that's all it was, man.
Liberty Dude, I know you were in the chat room. My apologies. The feed looks like it is stable and working properly now. And for you guys who are on the call with me, Willie and Anthony, I did turn on Skype recording as a backup when it started blowing up at the very beginning of the show. So hopefully we are not missing much of anything. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun editing experience. But speaking of fun experiences, Anthony, you have a fun experience you saw on Twitter you want to share with us. We get to make fun of something again.
That's where he's going with that? All right. Yeah, I guess. Well, I got good news, bad news.
Do you need the super dick mode bump for this? Because I can find it.
No, there's not enough of them for it to be super dick mode.
So what do you got for us, buddy?
So I got movie news, and it's good news, bad news, good news, depending on how you look at it. The thing I saw on Twitter that we were making fun of was kind of funny is that the 5,000 stuck-up conservative twats that refer to themselves as the 1 million moms are now boycotting the Eternals movie because there's going to be a same-sex kiss in it. Oh, no.
Do we know which characters are going to be same-sex kissing?
I'm not sure because I know
they just said that.
They've announced which character is. Wait, is it Kamel's character is gay?
I honestly don't remember.
I have no idea.
They did say this would have their first openly out character in a Marvel movie.
I don't know of any of the Eternals characters, so I can't really tell you much.
Yeah,
there's one called the Black Knight. That's going to be Kit Harington, right? That's all I do know.
Yeah, he's supposed to be as the Black Knight, though I don't think that's going to be. I think it's going to be one of the actual Eternals themselves is going to be openly an out character. Let's see. I'm trying to see if the article of it says who it is. But yeah, it was just a bit, a tiny hubbub, not even a big hubbub, because the roughly 5,000 hyper conservative women that make up the movement that refers to themselves as 1 million moms.
Oh God, I remember them.
Yeah,
they like to rampage about many things.
Mm.
They like to talk shit. So yeah, since there's going to be a same-sex kiss in the movie of the characters on screen, they're saying they're going to avoid it. So I said this is great. Another fantastic reason to go see the Eternals on the big screen is that the uptight, ultra-conservative women from your neighborhood won't be in the theater. Hey, another great reason to go see the movie on opening
And they won't
day.
bring their kid, thank God.
Yeah, and they won't bring their 8 kids.
I'm babysitting, and I'm just
No,
thought that would be
if
a
they're
fun thing
ultra-conservatives,
to
they don't
do,
believe in
just bring it to
condoms.
the movie.
Yeah, so that's the good news, bad news on that.
Gotta be careful with that.
Oh, whatever. I ain't afraid of those
I
5,000.
believe in condoms. We've been there before.
Yeah, but anyways, I mean, we still have until November 6th, so it's quite a while off before we'll see the Eternals. But I mean, with Kumail now getting his men's health fitness routine photos shared, it's fucking ridiculous how great of shape they get people in for these movies, and whoever it is that's going to be making out with each other is going to look great doing it.
Well,
so
the story with him was he knew a year ahead of everyone else, though, didn't he? That he was going to be in it, right, Kumail?
something like that.
Well, he's
yeah.
been training for a year. Kumail made a point of saying when he had that men's fitness cover, he goes, "Look, what I did here is not something you can easily do on your own."
Yes.
He had some of the best trainers and dietitians out there that helped him get into that kind of shape, and he was very explicit when he talked about that. That was, this is not something I could have done on my own, and this is not sustainable long term.
Nope. But if you want to be in that kind of shape, get cast in a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
because
and I believe And I believe he knew a year ahead of time before anyone else in the Eternals knew they were going to be cast. That's what the story I heard.
Could be.
But yeah, funny story on that is I just watched Stuber last night, and with my mom and my aunt. It's so hard to watch a movie with them because they just chat. But I showed them a picture, like, yeah, see that guy right there? Come on, Gianni. Here's a picture of what he looks like now because he's going to be in the Marvel movie. Like, what?
Yeah, he had a hell of a transformation.
Did he have any before pictures? Because I don't ever remember seeing him without a shirt.
Not that I know of. But
was he ever shirtless in Silicon Valley?
I don't think he rocked much shirtless photos until he started hitting the gym.
I'm sure Emily Van Gus. What's her last name?
Van Gus.
His wife. Yeah, Van Gus. Yeah, I'm sure she's happy with it too. The transformation.
More than likely.
Bring back. Go ahead.
The other movie news was there was a Hollywood Reporter article about the new Dracula movie in the works as Universal remakes its Monsterverse, which is an exclusive from Hollywood Reporter Heat Vision. I thought it was funny because the very start of the article, it says, an invisible man resurrects a dead franchise. The studio mulls over filmmaker-centric reboots, and Universal's Monstroverse, left for dead after the middling box office returns of the 2017 The Mummy, is now back on track. Just don't call it a Monsterverse this time. They didn't call it a Monsterverse last time.
The only people that called it a Monsterverse last time was Universal, and they're like,
no,
this is
even Universal didn't call it the Monsterverse last time.
What do they call it? The Dark?
It was the Dark Universe.
That's right. Yeah, right.
Even the exclusive article written about it doesn't know what the fuck the universe was supposed to be called the last time they fucked it up. And this is actually going to be the third try because it was actually supposed to start on that original Luke Goss Dracula movie they did before the failing Mummy.
Which one was that
the
one?
Wolfman. They did a Wolfman movie with Sir Anthony Hopkins that failed, that didn't start the franchise. Then they did the Dracula one. The Wolfman was
and not Antonio
the Collector.
God,
Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro,
Yeah.
Great actor. I love him.
Yeah, so that movie failed, didn't start up the universe. Then they did the Dracula one with Luke Goss, I believe. That one failed and didn't start up the new universe. Then they blatantly called it the Dark Universe at the start of the Tom Cruise Mummy movie. That one failed and did not start up a franchise. Quit trying to jumpstart a fucking franchise and just make a good movie.
I actually want them to do that. I want them to create this universe where they're all interconnected because I want them to do, at the end of it, instead of Avengers, have a Monster Squad movie. Let's do that again. I want another Monster
Squad. Plus, Monster Squad had nothing to do with Universal Monsters. Universal wouldn't let them use their creatures, and that's why Stan Winston had to create 5 brand new versions of the classic Universal monsters. There are no Universal monsters in the Monster Squad.
Well, what was different from Frankenstein? Looked like the classic Universal Frankenstein, though, and they look like
designed. They were to look like them, but they are all brand new design. I'm sorry, it might have been Stan Winston, it might have been Rick Baker. I'm not sure who did that movie, but they had to fully redesign brand new characters so that it's not Dracula, it's not the Wolfman, it's not the creature from the Black Lagoon, but it's all brand new characters that look exactly like them. But yeah, they were all brand new characters in that movie because Universal wouldn't let them do it. So we'll make our own.
There's 2 reasons why I fucking love Monster Squad. Excuse my cursing. I just feel that much strongly about it.
You're just emphasizing it.
Yeah. And the next part's a quote. Second part. First part is when the fat kid goes, "Wolfman's got nards." Hilarious. Wolfman's got nards.
Yeah.
And 2, they took the chance, and it was sure it's a little shocking when you see it because it's a little out of character for the movie. When Dracula picks up the little 4-year-old virgin girl, they have to make them note of that. He says, "Give me the crystal, you bitch." He calls a little 4-year-old girl a bitch. That's just hilarious.
Right.
It's true, he does. But yeah, so Universal is apparently moving forward with Blumhouse and going to try to start this whole hubbub of bullshit up again. The upside being is that if it's with Blumhouse and Jason Blumhouse, like, it might actually work. They actually seem to know what they're doing, unlike these giant companies like Universal who just keep dumping millions and hundreds of millions of dollars on bad ideas, where Blumhouse is, taking a $7, $10, $20 million movie and getting a $200 million return because they're making good stuff. I mean, so far, the only one that's kind of hurt them was Fantasy Island. And that was a risky thing to begin with anyways. Like, the idea of making Fantasy Island like a horror film, that's a risk. But also, Blumhouse is taking some risks, and some of them have paid off massively. Some have paid off just a little bit. But either way, Jason Blumhouse and Blumhouse Productions seems to be willing to take risks. So if they're actually going to give them partial control, let them pick a director, someone that has an idea, a solid idea and a love of a character. That's how you get shit like James Gunn's Guardians. Nobody give a fuck about those characters. None of y'all know who Groot was. Nobody. Nobody knew who Groot was.
I'm agreeing with you.
Almost nobody knew who Rocket was. James Gunn had an idea and then wrote a great script based on that idea and made you love those characters. He made you love a stupid talking tree and an angry raccoon.
I remember when they just announced that Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be in the Phase 2. I was like, what? That's what you choose? Like, no. I was like, no. And then that first trailer, I was like, I'm in. You got me. I am in.
Well, the first trailer also told me, this has nothing to do with the Guardians from the comic books.
I didn't even know who the Guardians of the comic books were.
It's a totally different team. It's a totally different team. Basically,
you're in the
Stallone team that you see at the end of Guardians 2 is the characters that were the original Guardians of the Galaxy in the comic books. Starhawk and Charlie 27. Yeah, a bunch of different people.
And plus a more alive Yondu.
Yeah.
It was a very different thing. But yeah, so I mean, like if they can get a director to come in and do what James Gunn did there, if you can get that director that actually has a love for the character, a director that has an actual solid idea, not just a marketing gimmick, not just I think this might work, a fucking love of the story, then we might be able to pull something off. Because it would be awesome if we can actually get the Universal monsters back and kicking ass. Like there's a reason that the Universal Dracula has been that look for so long, that the Wolfman's character has stayed that way for so long. The Universal monsters were done damn well. Lon Chaney kicked ass back in the day. And let's be honest, we need to see fucking Doug Jones as all of those characters. He's this generation's Lon Chaney. He can play any creature. I want to see him as the creature from the Black Lagoon. I want to see him as the fucking Wolfman. Hell, I want to see him as Dracula. Get Doug Jones and put him in every one of those fucking movies, and it'll work.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, so good news, bad news, good news on the movies. And I'll also mention, as a side note, a bunch of people are talking now about how they think New Mutants looks good. And I think they're just setting themselves up for disappointment. Like, there's a reason this movie's been, like, canceled and delayed 3 times. Like, the final trailer looks kind of okay. Low expectations, people. It's the last technical X-Men film from a company that's already gone. So, don't expect too much.
This is why I'm trying to figure out why Disney's putting it out. It's one of the first times I've questioned a decision when it comes to their comic book movies. And I'm like, I don't know.
Because it's in the can, and they've technically already paid for it.
I guess, yeah.
They bought Fox. Fox had already made the movie. At this point, if they don't put it out, the way the lawyers look at it, and the bean counters, is if they don't put it out, they're losing money. Even if it makes $10, that's $10 they weren't counting on. Exactly.
I would say it's pretty much free money to them because they already bought Fox. It's already been done. Fox already paid for it. It's just, why not just put it out there for some free money? So you're not hurting anything by doing it.
There's something to be said for bad PR. Remember when we had concerns about what Sony was doing with their Spider-Man spinoffs? We're like, yes, we know those aren't Marvel movies, but they're comic book movies, and that taints the greater pool was the concern. The question is, has the MCU evolved from that point where it really doesn't matter if something's not MCU or tanks?
But see, they know that the audience is smart enough now to know even if New Mutants tanks, it's still a Fox film.
That's fair, because I wager they don't put the Disney logo before that.
No,
or the Marvel Studios logo.
Yeah.
If
it might
I was
have the
in
Marvel
charge of it,
Studios Association logo, but it's not going to be like the Disney logo at the start.
If I was in charge of it, like at Disney, I was in charge of this, how I would see it is we put it out. It's going to be a single film, no matter what. If it does bad, that's it. If it does good, when we do mutants in the movies, we can get those actors since people loved them. Get those actors back into some roles. Boom. There's no.
Well, yeah, and only one of them is going to have a price tag.
Fair.
Which one was it? I don't remember the cast.
Girl from Game of Thrones is Wolfsbane. Arya Stark is one. Arya Stark.
Oh, Arya Stark. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, they just go to the Game of Thrones for anything X-Men related now, don't they? I can't blame them. I mean, I'm glad Arya Stark's doing something.
Hey, you give us a Jean Grey we care even less about. Great.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't her fault either. I don't think it was her fault. It was like the story, the script. Yeah.
And they gave her a Cyclops that she had exactly 0 chemistry with.
And I don't think it was on the. I don't think it was on the two people. I think there's just storylines. It was just not well written. I wouldn't. I'm not going to put that on the actors themselves. I do also want to touch back on like when you were talking about Blumhouse. I appreciate that I'm alive when Blumhouse is in production because I can really feel like the love they have for the movies they put out. Like they take chances, and you can feel they back up people who have ideas, and I appreciate the hell out of that. People who have ideas is what makes this world great. Storytellers or just anything in general, but just I'm more of a fan of storytelling. So when they give people chances like that, I've seen a bad movie from Blumhouse, but I've also seen a lot more good ones. So I'm appreciative of them. And they do it for cheap. They're the new, what was that cheap director from the Corman, right? Roger Corman? What do you know for being a cheap director?
90s Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, okay. So, that's right. Yeah. He worked for cheap, but it's not like sure, it could have been done a little bit better, but he went for the chances. I appreciate that. That's all I got to say about that, guys. Bachman and Chris.
Well, since Willie's got nothing more to say on that, let's move on to the next news story, which I've got right now. As we record this, it's March 10th. MAR 10. So you know what people call today? It's Super
10
Mario
days before
Day.
Animal Crossing. Oh.
Mario Day.
Also true.
Or Doom Eternal.
But it is Mario Day. We've seen a lot of sales of different Mario games this week. They've knocked $20 off a bunch of Mario Switch games, stuff like that. And I don't know about you guys. I was not really expecting any surprises today until I logged on and saw that Lego and Nintendo were trending. And I went, wait, what? Evidently, and we don't have a ton of details on this yet, Nintendo and the Lego group are teaming up to make a new line of Lego toys based on the Super Mario franchise. Nintendo teased the collaboration on Tuesday, because it's Mario Day, but they did not really give a great preview of what is coming. Nintendo of America tweeted, "Something fun is being built," with a brief video featuring an animated question block on Mario's chest and something that looked like LED teeth. They followed up with a stay tuned and have not really responded to any questions going, hey, what kind of Legos does this mean is coming our way? So we can assume something is coming. It's not the first time that the Lego group has delved into merchandising. Remember, they did make Overwatch Legos. They've made Minecraft Legos, things like that. They did. I don't know about the Overwatch Legos. They had licensed gaming sets in addition to the Harry Potter and the Star Wars Legos they've done. They have dabbled in gaming. And let's be honest, if you're Nintendo and Lego, it's kind of a nice team up. Mario's bashing blocks all the time and breaking.
Yeah, I was going to say, how's a character that started out punching bricks like 40 years ago, how has he not been a Lego character?
Right?
And let's also not forget that also Lego also dipped their toes in gaming as well with Lego Dimensions, which I was always interested in but never got it.
It was fascinating. When it came to Toys to Life games, it was the more interesting one to me because it was Legos and you actually had to build the things. But
and I loved how it popped up on the screen with the instructions how to build it. Like it didn't come with. I don't think it came with instructions when you pulled out of the packet.
That was the problem.
But it came with the game. Because for people who have the game.
But here's the problem for people who didn't have the game, such as my wife who loves Doctor Who, and they made a Doctor Who TARDIS and things like that, and a canine. I got her that, and she's like, well, how do I make this? And I had to go online and find someone who had made instructions based off of like a YouTube video of it, because it wasn't. It's a cool mechanic to say, hey, you got to watch the game to see how to build it. But when the game goes away and it's just the Legos out there, it's annoying. But yeah,
I would say out of all the Game to Life games, that one was probably the best idea and more interesting one.
You're not wrong.
Like all the other ones, you just got a little Spyro figurine. Bloop, there it is. Yeah. That's all there is. It's like, cool, but this ain't Spyro. What are all these other characters? I've never seen these in Spyro games. I don't care.
So really what it comes down to now is stay tuned. Nintendo and Lego teaming up. We're going to see something weird. I don't know when we get the next announcement of anything. Maybe E3, maybe on the Lego Masters TV show they've got on Fox. I have no idea. Side note, that Lego Masters TV show is the shit. You need to be watching it. It is fan-friggin-tastic.
It is on Hulu. I've watched the first 2 episodes. It is freaking hilarious.
Oh, it's amazing.
You know what? That just makes me think of why did this get made?
Because they're going to make reality TV shows of stupid things. Like, this is Will Arnett basically being Will Arnett hosting a show where they say, here's your contest of what you've got to build this week in 14 hours. And you go, how the hell did they build that? It's
my question is, who came up with it gave the idea to, was it Fox's on Fox?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it was a UK or Australian show originally or something like that.
Oh,
and
so
then they
okay.
adapted it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was a show before that.
think-
All right,
I need
but
to
who
double-check.
originally? They say, yeah, we're making a show about Legos. How do you want to put your money down on this? You want to be a producer on this? Put it on your channel? Like, how does that get greenlit for someone? Like, I'm probably never gonna watch it, to tell you the truth. But I mean, I do like the idea that it is out there.
I might have misread that somewhere, that it was previously done somewhere else, but I could have sworn I'd read an interview that Lego Masters started off somewhere else and then they made an American version of it. Regardless,
Yeah, like they do with a lot of those reality shows.
it's really
Yeah.
fun and it's lighthearted, and why I enjoyed it is I really loved Face Off when that was on Sci-Fi Channel, and why I enjoyed that
Fuck yeah!
is they got
Nick Cage, John Travolta,
different
great
one,
movie.
but why
I know.
why I enjoyed that one was
That
because
John Woo.
while it was a contest back and forth between all the competitors there, it never devolved down to that typical reality TV trope of, I hate you, I'm going to beat you, and just like people spitting at each other, cheating and things like that. This was, oh, you're running behind, I finished my project early, let me come help you get this out of a clay mask. Let me help you get this set. And you see the same thing in Lego Masters where like they're all rooting for each other because they all love building stuff. So there's not really like, I hate you and I hope you fail kind of thing. So it's a feel-good show.
Yeah, there's tiny bits of trash talk, but it's more like competitive trash talk. It's not like I'm going to say something that's going to ruin this other person's life on national television.
Will Arnett talks more trash than any of the competitors on there.
Oh yeah, that's all I was going to say. You couldn't have a better host than Will Arnett. That is the perfect choice
Because
to have.
he's
No,
Batman.
he's
Lego Batman himself.
Oh, he brings that up basically every episode.
He's basically playing his character from Arrested Development mixed with Lego Batman.
All right, now I've
Yeah,
never seen
he is a
Lego
little trope.
Batman. I've only seen the Lego movie like once. Is the Lego in his own movies? Is he also kind of a dick?
Yes.
Kind of like a dude bro dick kind
Yes.
of. Yeah. In the Lego movie.
Yes, that is his entire.
Yeah, I got the
shtick.
Batmobile. Yeah, it's nothing.
It's delightful. I really do encourage you, if you like Legos and you need something that's just fun TV that's lighthearted, check out Lego
second.
Masters.
I was like, it seems like the Lego Batman. He popped off his head and shoved up on his own Lego ass.
I see what you did there. And I know what I'm going to see you do next, which is bring us your news of the week, Willie.
Oh, I was about to look up because I couldn't remember what it was, but I remember now. I didn't need it. So yes, HBO has put an announcement for a new TV show that is just an announcement that they're going to do it. They haven't even announced any casting, right? Am I right on that?
I don't
Chris?
know. I haven't followed up since the original just announcement.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any. Although I've heard some fan speculating, or what is it called when is it fan casting? Is that what they do when they want someone to be?
Yeah, it's fan
whatever.
casting.
Yeah, fan cast. HBO has announced they're going to be doing a show for the video game series now, or will be series coming up soon, The Last of Us. And I am super happy about that. I want them to do it right, and I'm glad HBO is the one to do it. I could not see it being like a cable network, or was cable? Is it Fox and ABC? Is that cable?
Those
networks?
are broadcast technically.
Broadcast, yeah. I could not see it doing on that at all. If they did, I would just be disappointed and wouldn't even try to watch it.
But cable could do it. Let's be honest. If AMC can pull off The Walking Dead and Better Call Saul,
Okay,
and
yeah.
things like that, I think some of your cable
AMC,
channels could do it.
Cable, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
cable.
So AMC, FX, I don't think could do it right because Last of Us. I have said this before. I'm going to say this again. Even Naki would probably back me up on this. I know Naki agreeing with me is a weird thing. It doesn't happen often, but it would happen here. I'm probably going to say that right now. Last of Us is the most emotional, impactful story in a video game I have ever had. Anyone who's listening, if you played it, the thin ice scene, I get goosebumps anytime I see it or even think about it. I get goosebumps now just talking about it. Yeah, that scene is probably my favorite scene out of that because it makes you feel uncomfortable, but in like a way that makes sense with the characters, and you're unsure what's going to happen, and just so much. If they need to do this show right, I want them to do it right, get it right. The fan casting I seen was Jamie fucking Lannister. Like, it's fucking Jamie Lannister. Him being Joel, which I can see. I'd be a fan. I can see him doing that, especially with his graying hair and all that. He can be a good Joel. And I don't know her name, but she was in Justified. I haven't seen her in anything else. Oh, and she was also in the movie Booksmart. If you ever seen that, she was
Caitlin Dever, or she's in she's in the Tim Allen Last Man Standing show too.
Okay, I did see
Caitlin Dever, or something like that.
Yeah, she could be. How old is she though? Let me see. I'm looking that up right
20s,
now.
I think
she's 23 years old. Yeah, that'd be all right. Even though she looks like as a Sony did get in a little trouble, or at least I'm not sure if Sony did as a whole or just Naughty Dog, because you can definitely tell they made Ellie look like oh god, what is her? My brain with memory names.
Page.
Yeah, they made her look like Ellen Page, and Ellen Page was in a Sony first-party game called Beyond Two Souls, but she was not. It had anything to do with Last of Us, and I'm not sure if that was just by coincidence that Ellie looked like Ellen Page, or was it just did they really mean to do like, well, here's an idea for a model of the character we want to have? I'm not sure. But the voice actress of Ellie in the game was, I'm sure it still is, I can't remember her name either. I don't think, even if I looked at it, I probably wouldn't remember it. She was in the Avengers. She was the blonde waitress that showed up a little bit near the attack on New York and had like they asked her a question on the TV screen.
Captain America saved me, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Patterson from Blind Spot.
I've never seen Blind Spot, so yeah, that's who does Ellie from the game. Like they do full mocap and everything, going through the scenes, and they record them as they're doing that. So you get all the as they're doing all the actions too. So
her name is Ashley Johnson. She was also the little girl on Growing Pains.
Growing Pains.
She was the youngest child of the family on Growing Pains.
I mean, I still find it funny that Mike Seaver had a friend named Boner.
Right.
Of course you find it funny.
I mean, because I'm a little kid. Just like in Daybreak. That's a great show. Yeah. Bone. But the guy who plays Joel is my brain and names tonight is just not working. He's a very famous voice actor. Not Nolan North. Although he did have a voice in The Last of Us as a character that, if they bring that scene in, oh my god, I'm going to spoil a little bit. He plays a...
shut up.
No.
No spoilers.
All right. It
just came out on PlayStation 4
for 7-year-old game.
The remastered version just came out on PS Plus for free. You just got me to start playing it, and now you're going to do spoilers?
Hold on a second. It came out for PS Plus for free, but the game was pretty much available from like the start date of PlayStation 4, I believe. So don't give me that. The remastered was
Troy Baker.
Troy Baker, yeah, that's it. He's also an amazing musician too.
Yes. Give
him props all over the place. Troy Baker, great at what he does. Ashley Johnson, also great. Oh my God, them two together have such good chemistry. For the story, so good. If you haven't played Last of Us, at least give that first 15 minutes. Find someone who has it. Ask them to play that first 15-minute segment, just so you can understand what kind of game you're getting into. Like I cannot emphasize this enough. This game deserved every kind of praise it got, and more actually. Even though it won Game of the Year and out from a bunch of different sites, the story alone blows me away still.
Yeah, I'll be watching it when it hits HBO, but I hate to interrupt you, but breaking news as of 15 minutes ago, we can break some news on here. Comicbook.com is reporting, in a variety of other sources, E3 2020 has reportedly been canceled due to coronavirus issues.
Shit.
There is no official word yet coming from the Entertainment Software Association, but developers such as Devolver Digital have gone on Twitter and said, cancel your E3 flights and hotels, y'all. Other reporters are coming out and saying they've heard from multiple sources and cancellation will be announced tomorrow morning. Now, what does it mean for people like us who aren't going anyways? Probably minimally anything, because they're going to put all of the same stuff they're going to announce there on YouTube, or they'll do their own live presentations locally and put it online. And Willie, you keep hand gesturing like that. What can I do for you?
For you audio listeners, I am jacking off a very big imaginary dick, because I do not care about this news. E3 has been a shell of its former self for a couple years now. Sony hasn't been there. It wasn't there last year. They already announced they weren't going to be there this year, which I'm a little sad by since they even stopped doing their PlayStation Experience convention, and because I like when they do stuff. Because I know I'm a fanboy. I'm not really a fanboy.
I can't remember if Nintendo was doing a full-blown event or just some Treehouse events there. But
they usually Nintendo has famously never done it.
I thought they did Treehouse events.
They usually did. They had little things, but they usually did their own Nintendo Direct around the same time. Okay. So that's what they did.
I don't think it's a huge deal from a gaming perspective because, like you said, E3 is becoming less and less important as you start getting things announced at the Game Awards, GDCs, things like that, or people just be like, the hell with it, we're going to do our own presentation online. Or you could be like Microsoft and just put a blog post out from Phil Spencer that details everything coming in a console. Doing everything at E3 is not as important, but the fact that they canceled something like that, it's in June, I believe, so we're still 3 months away.
I'm still
of people potentially thinking smart about how to get ahead of putting a bunch of people traveling all around the world in one place where they cough all over each other.
Now, I'm also...
Con crud is a thing, so...
Yep. Yeah. I know I was jacking off my big imaginary dick. Definitely, my dick's not really this big. That'd be amazingly weird. Actually, no, it wouldn't be amazing. It'd be terrible. But no, so that girth... You see this girth I'm having in my hand? Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, no. I'm really... this ain't my left leg. I'm really an amputee. No. But I mean, saying all that, like, I am sad because I used to love E3 because, I mean, they would always have these new announcements and stuff would be kept secret and all that. I'm sad that is a shell of its former self because I enjoyed it. I wish it was still what it used to be.
That's fair.
So I'm saddened by that. And that's why I really just don't fucking care. I'm jacking off that big dick again for you audio listeners. It's what it is now.
It's more interesting from the perspective of South by Southwest shutdown, Gamer Developers Conference, all sorts of things. You're starting to see a lot of things that are proactively saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't have this big event when there's... And I'm not trying to put a panicky conspiracy theory out there in regards to coronavirus. Yes, I do realize that it's on par with the flu-ish, but the way that it is contagious and you don't realize you're infected, that's the problem that's associated with it because it takes so long for symptoms to come up. Let's make it easy to not spread and have this go around. Wash your hands. Right. Don't go to these big events.
I do have a question.
Quest away.
It's on point with this. I don't know because I keep hearing both ways. I keep hearing the news saying it's a big deal. I hear other people saying it's not that big of a deal. Is the coronavirus really that big of a deal? So like that if you get it.
It's tough to know right now because, at least in the States and a lot of other places, we don't have enough tests that when someone thinks they have it, that they're able to test appropriately on it. And it is not... So for people like us who are in their 30s and 40s, probably not a big deal. For people who are 60 and up and younger... That's where it's more
autoimmune disease,
or compromised immune system, things like that. So you could be like, oh, I don't give a crap. I'm 30, I'm young, and it's not going to do anything to me. Yeah, but what about your neighbor or the guy that sits at the desk next to you who's got a damaged immune system? Just be smart. Wash your hands. Don't cough in your hands. Things like that.
And once again, I'm not sure. I haven't really looked too much into it because I was like, I don't think I really have to worry about it. If you do get it, does your body just get rid of it naturally too? If you do have like a healthy body and all that like system going on?
I mean, is that like what goes other on? Respiratory illnesses, your body will eventually defeat it. But the problem they have talked about with coronavirus is that you can theoretically be asymptomatic for up to 14 days, but still be contagious because you don't know that you're sick.
Okay.
That is some of the problems they've talked about is that you're contagious, but you don't realize you're sick. And when you go to the hospital and say, hey, this is the symptoms I'm having, they might not necessarily know immediately it's coronavirus. This is not me trying to put fear of God in anyone, anything like that. Just be smart, wash your hands.
Take precautions.
There's a reason why...
What you should be doing anyway.
There's a reason why a lot of these events are pushing off. And yes, it's because this gets super hyped in the media, arguably too much so. But at the same time, it's fairly contagious. You don't want to get it, and you don't want to give it to your friends and family. Just be smart. Wash your hands. Whenever you're picking, wash your hands up more than you would normally. It's not going to hurt you to wash your hands, people.
Another question, because I have a follow-up to it. To have any of you, Chris or Bachman, have any of you had a case near you?
There are no cases in West Virginia yet.
And neither in
Nothing
All right.
in Idaho yet, as far as I know.
I do know my buddy. He works at a Harris Teeter in Raleigh. A restaurant that is behind his Harris Teeter had to close down to get sanitized because I think someone who got coronavirus and they were there. I'm not sure exactly the full story of why they chose that restaurant to get sanitized. But
So here's where things are going to get interesting, at least where I live and arguably in a lot of other places. I live in a college town. The students are on spring break right now. A lot of them traveled to Florida, all over the place. They come back for classes next week.
yeah,
Yeah, so if it's going to come here, it's probably going to come back to one of the universities because you've got a big traveling group of students who are, let's be honest, when you're going out and partying to all hours of the night, you're not really worried about washing your hands every time you touch something, things like that.
and I'm sure you know this, Chris. North Carolina, I mean, because you follow college sports more than I do. North Carolina is filled with college cities. You got Raleigh with State, Chapel Hill and right beside Charlotte, UNCG's in Greensboro, which UNC University of North Carolina Greensboro, and then UNC is just in Charlotte, I think. And then you got Wake Forest. You got I think Asheville has one. I can't remember. There's so many of them. I'm trying to run off the top of my head, and just a lot of them.
Yes, you live in a heavily college, or what's the right term?
Oh,
I can't think of the right term I'm looking for.
Isn't the Final Four going on now too?
Well, the tournament has not started for March Madness. There's a bunch of other things that are going around that supposedly the NBA.
They're doing that in Greensboro.
NBA might be playing games in empty stadiums, things like that, to try and minimize the risk. They've already limited access to locker rooms to being just players and staff and things like that. There are a lot of things going around right now as for ways to potentially mitigate future concerns. But what it all comes down to, again, and I'm going to be a broken record here, is just be smart, wash your hands, and the other thing I didn't mention, try not to touch your face. You don't realize how much you touch your face until you're not supposed to do it. Because I'm one of those people, I'll sit there at my desk at work, and I'll have like my hand up on my face like that, and I'll be like, yeah. For those that are on the audio version, we're all touching our faces, exactly how we're not.
I'm licking my fingers. Finger licking good. I don't care. Yeah. Lunch.
So just be smart. That's what it comes down to. The bulk of us are going to be just fine, especially if we practice common sense procedures such as washing our hands or even hand sanitizer if you're out in the world and can't get in to wash your hands.
Actually, you know what? I did wash my hands a while back with lemongrass scented like bar soap that my friend Hannah got me. And I have a little taste of that in my mouth. It's nice. It's quite pleasant.
That's quite delightful. You get a little aftertaste
lemongrass.
there. That being said,
like licking your Switch games.
Ooh, there you go. That being said, it is time for start shutting things down. We've gone for, yikes, about an hour and how long is this? An hour and 20 minutes right now. So we are cutting it close, and it is 10 p.m. and I'm an old man who has to go to bed soon. So we're going to shut things down.
We'll deal with it
real quickly with a little segment called What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys who are watching live or listening at a later date just what kind of geeky and or nerdy things we've been getting into, so that maybe, just maybe, you'll go check them out yourselves. Yes, Willie.
Thank you, Chris. I want to appreciate your forced segue. I always appreciate when you force a segue onto us. I know it sounds like a joke, and I'm being rude. No, I'm not. I really like them.
I'm glad
Spread positivity, guys.
I'm glad you just
spread positivity,
not
coronavirus.
I did a segue there. So thank you, sir. And
Killed it.
I'm just appreciative
Killed
of
it
you
dead.
in general.
So let me toss things to you, Mr. Willie D. Nelson. What you been getting into?
All right. Well, first thing I went to go see last Thursday. I went to go see Onward. Is that the new Pixar movie? It's Pixar, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And it was good. It was a good movie. Had some tearjerker moments, and if you is all about family and fathers and connecting with their sons. I will say that the two brothers in it, the main characters, I was like curious because I didn't look at the casting beforehand, or I didn't know anything of it. I was like, all right, the main brother, the younger one, voice sounds familiar, but the older brother's like, I know it sounds familiar. I'm almost got there, and I finally got it. I was like, oh, that's Chris Pratt. And then the younger brother is Tom Holland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Thomas Holland.
You
I hope his
Star
name's
Lord
Thomas.
Spider-Man.
Yep. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. It was a good movie. And before that, because the Regal Movie Pass is pretty damn nice. I also saw Bad Boys for Life. My mini review of that movie is also the same for when some of the actions happen on the screen, like the action scenes. Like my review is, what was the point of that? There was a moment when one of the younger ammo cop people, they shoot someone about 6-7 feet away with a shotgun, and they're dead. And they do a little slide, they get down on their knees and they slide right up to him and they shoot him again point blank. And I'm like, what was the point of that? You could have just took 2 or 3 steps and then just do that if you wanted to make sure. Whatever. Like, but that was also the review of the movie itself is, what was the point of that? They didn't have a good idea to go into it other than just say, hey, let's have another Bad Boys movie. Because Bad Boys 1, good. Bad Boys 2, great movie. I'm pretty sure, like, looking back at the time, I said that was my favorite movie of that year. Because you just got a lot of good comedy, good action, and just they merged it together really great. But this one just seemed like to be a cash grab, to be honest with you. What was the point of that?
Martin Lawrence has a mortgage. That's the point of that.
He's also looking a little too close to Big Mama's house. Ooh. I mean, you've seen in the trailer, even the trailer, he's like, you're looking a lot puffy, man. You knew you were going to be in this movie with Will Smith, and Will Smith keeps on that. Like, you got to do something, man. Although I guess it kind of fits his thing, because even in the second movie, he's like, I'm retiring. Well, spoiler for this fucking movie. I mean, I'm not recommending you see it. He retires in it for a little bit. I mean, there you go. And it does fit his character to look like that. I mean, a little bit, but I mean, and that's also another movie for fatherhoodness too. And that's all I'm going to say. And I do appreciate they do bring back, if you remember in the first movie, the kid that comes to date the daughter and they're all yelling at his face. That same actor is in this one. I'm not sure if he was in the second one at all, though. But he did come back in this movie. Now I did enjoy that. He did pull the same guy who played that same role. That was entertaining. And nice. I did want to mention earlier, I want them to do that dark picture or the dark monster stuff again, so they can bring back Monster Squad, because I want them to bring back the original kid actors for Monster Squad to do that again. Just bring them all back. That'd be great. I mean, what are any of them doing? Like, I don't remember any of them if they've done anything else. But who cares?
I don't think so.
What else I've been getting into? I've been playing Dead by Daylight. I've only got to play one match today because a lot of other stuff came up. I got to play one match against the new killer. I haven't used the new survivor yet. I'm trying to get them leveled up just so I can get their perks teachable to get put on my Dwight, because my Dwight has every perk available except for right now. He's missing 3. Yeah. And I've only had a little bit of time. I'm pretty sure I got the blood points to get her up to level 40, but I don't know if I have enough points after that to put Dwight to get, was it like 9 more blood, or no, it only needs like 6 or something, because you can get 2 of the perks and it doesn't matter. Yeah, trying to work on that. We'll probably be doing that after the podcast. Bachman, I hope you join me in on that.
I might.
I hope I'm
doing some Dead by Daylight tonight for sure. I was just probably going to do a killer match first before I jump into Survivor. Oh, you're good.
Take your time, buddy. I'm never rushing. And we actually play with a new person we met. I don't want to say his real name. What's his name? Godly Spidey.
Godly Spidey.
Godly Spidey. I thought it was you for a second, Chris. Like, did he change his name because the Spidey? Isn't your PlayStation name also Spidey616?
I can't remember. No, it's not, because someone else poached it, but I can't remember what it is on PlayStation Network right now.
Yeah, because I can remember.
Oh, that's the Chris _WVU or something. I think was the last one.
I don't honestly remember what my PlayStation Network name is.
Well, you know what? You can change it one time for free. I would say try and get something better. They put some Spidey something in there for you. Some Spider. I also been getting to. I watched Stuber, and I did have to leave during it, so I didn't actually fully watch all of it. I came back middle of it, had some dinner. There was issues with that. Kumail Nanjiani is funny in it. I don't know how to take the whole point of Dave Bautista's character is he got LASIK surgery because his vision was not too good. And this is him the same day after he got the LASIK surgery. He's having to foil all these other crimes that are going on. And he still can't see because the LASIK surgery just took place. And he's like, so I was like, I don't know how I feel about that little plot point, but just went with it. It was an enjoyable movie from what I've seen. I do need to rewatch it again. Don't know if I mentioned last week. Oh yeah, I did watch Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart. Great movie.
That's a good one.
I will say
watched that in the theater.
I believe that deep fake, if you want to call it that, for that movie when they did when they showed the Rock's character in high school, he was like a fat guy, and they put the Rock's face over top of it. I'm not sure if that was I don't think it was a deep fake. They probably went and handed that manually. It probably was not done by computer learning.
No, that was solid CGI because it's really well done.
Yeah, it's really well done. Like the way they put the Rock, merged that Rock's face on it is like sometimes like I like to tell people like, yeah, that's the Rock right there. When I show them the trailer, like that's the Rock. I'm like, yeah, the face, yeah. And I also saw Knives Out. I can't remember if I did see it last time we talked about this. Great movie. And then there was another one. I've been in a movie watching mood, guys. I hope you're understanding with that. And there was another one. I did buy The Incredible Hulk a second time on 4K Blu-ray because it was cheap. And also, I thought I had lost my copy of Blu-ray, which I love that copy because the Blu-ray, the case isn't blue. It's green, the translucent green. And I liked it. I was like, when a friend came over, they want to watch it. I was like, oh, let me look on my shelf. It should be easy to find because that translucent green thing. And it couldn't find it. I was like, no, I let somebody borrow it. I don't remember. I finally got that. I got my copy back because they said, hey, come get your movie back. I was like, damn it. That's where it is. I still need to see Ford v Ferrari because that's another good one that I've only heard good things about. I really want to see that. And other than that, oh, yes. I mentioned it earlier. Told it was forecasting. Me and Bachman were playing Dead by Daylight with Godly Spidey. And I had probably the worst moment I've ever seen in lag or whatever you want to call it. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, I put a clip of it, like a little 31-second clip of it up. You can hear me and Bachman playing it too. He was telling me to shut up because he didn't believe me at the time. Well, you also tell me to shut up anyway. No, I was at a pallet, threw down the pallet, jumped over it, and well enough time so they wouldn't hit me. And I started running away, and then I go down. So I'm thinking, oh, they just didn't go for the pallet. They just instantly went around and they hit me through a window. No, because I turned my camera back, and they're already back at the pallet 15 feet away almost instantly after I go down. And like, nope, there was just some very, very bad lag. And I call bullshit on it because you thought it was just like, oh, no, yeah, it was just, no, he was like a couple steps away and you got hit. No, this is a good like 15 or like this is good like 5-second lag, it seemed like. And usually the lag in that game is milliseconds, not full seconds.
Yeah, it was the worst lag I've seen in Dead by Daylight in the 2 some odd years I've been playing. It was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, I'm glad I remembered, like, oh yeah, I can make a little clip of this and put it on YouTube right quick. So if you want to look up South Forky on YouTube, it's my latest video. And hell, if you're interested in Overwatch, go watch all the Overwatch wrestling videos I put up too. I don't get a dime for it, so don't worry about that.
Oh,
I'm not promoting the reason. But yeah, yep. So play Last of Us, play Onrush, and be happy, guys. Spread positivity. Whenever I have a killer that was, pretty cool killer that didn't camp or anything, I'll send them a message saying, hey, man, you did a pretty good job as blank killer. Keep it up. I like to spread positivity, man. Although I will call toxicity out when I see it with the face camping tunnelers. Oh. And they like when it's 100%, you can tell us what they're doing. Call them out on that.
We know.
All right, I'm just gonna be done with that. I don't want to take up too much of your time, except for just fucking with you. Keep on going.
I'll go next, and I'm going to make it quick because I've been busy with work and various other side projects. Did get to restart Jedi Fallen Order, so hopefully I can make some progress on that. Watch
How
Lego
far
Masters
are
on
you?
Fox. I've literally replayed back to where I left off before.
Oh, you literally restarted and just went back to the first temple?
I just restarted because I didn't remember enough of where I'd left off on it before.
Nice. I have push and pull now on the second trip to Kashyyyk.
Spoilers. Spoilers of push and pull. Of course you get those.
Yeah,
obviously.
big spoilers. I got push and pull as a Jedi now.
Yeah, I understand about restarting, especially so much time. I will say for the combat, I did have to look up a video of how to do combat. Just for help you out, Chris, go slow with every battle.
Yeah.
Every battle's like a boss battle almost. Just different health states.
That's fair. But yeah, I've been too busy really to get into too much of anything. So that's all I've been getting into. Bachman, how about yourself?
Let's see. I watched all of a bunch of Netflix shows. I watched all of season 2 of Altered Carbon. That was some good stuff. Watching Falcon do his version of Takeshi Kovacs It's got a nice twist at the end of it. I really hope they move forward the third season. I love the idea. It's a show that you can literally cast anybody as any character because of the sci-fi, like, ingenious ideas that they came up with. The idea that a human now is basically a disc that takes the place of one of your vertebrae, and it's called a stack, and that stack can be put into any sleeve. And so they can literally recast any role in the movie. It can take place over any span of time. Like for sci-fi, it's genius. It's ingenious. It's a great show. I watched all of that. I watched what was the other one I just finished up? I
forgot to tell during mine. I'm going to remind you, Daybreak, right?
Oh yeah, I finished Daybreak.
I forgot to mention this. So great. I'm still in the middle of it. Great show. That one's
fun. Yeah, sad that it's apparently not coming back and has been canceled by Netflix, which is
told me that I'm pissed.
Yeah, very sad. I'm back on watching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the third season, second season. Oh, yeah, that show. I don't know. I love Lucy Davis. I'll watch Lucy Davis in anything.
Is that Sabrina herself?
No, that's Aunt Hilda.
Oh yeah, she was a delight.
Yeah,
she is a delight in that show.
She's great in everything. She was great in Wonder Woman. She was great in Shaun of the Dead.
That was her.
She was great in the original English Office. I will watch.
Who was she in Shaun of the Dead?
She was the girlfriend's best friend.
Okay. So like the Nick Frost.
Who was dating David the twat.
Oh, okay. She was like because I remember that group. Oh, the girlfriend's best friend. That's right. I was thinking his friends.
No,
like they were all
the
supposed to.
Group.
Yeah, the mirror. That's
in the main group. Yeah, in the main group, she was the girlfriend's best friend.
Okay.
But yeah, I would watch Lucy Davis read the phone book. She is just a delightful human being. She's fantastic. Yeah, so I'm back to watching that. Yeah, there was another series that I finished, and now I can't think of what it was. I watched that new the new Netflix movie Freaks, which is another take on people with superpowers. It's got some really cool storyline twists in it. At first, it just seems like it's a strange dad keeping his daughter locked up in a house with superpowers, and you don't know why, and you don't really know what's going on. As the story plays out and you see what's happening, there's a whole lot going on that you have no clue of at the beginning that makes it really cool, where I actually am looking forward to going back and rewatching it again. It's got the kid from Speed Racer in it, who is not my favorite actor, but he does a pretty good job in this one. And then Bruce Dern is like the grandpa, who's kind of crazy in it. He's great. But yeah, it's a really cool take on like the whole like a world more like Heroes, where everybody with powers is everybody's afraid of them. But yeah, it had some really cool stuff in it.
Oh, so Bachman, you said that was Freaks or
Freaks? It's called Freaks.
Freaks, and it's on Netflix. You said?
Yep. It's on Netflix.
Okay. Because I'm interested. You from that, I'm interested.
Oh yeah, then that was the other one. The number, I think it was the number one ranked thing on Netflix. I watched Spencer Confidential, the new Mark Wahlberg film with Eliza Schlesinger playing her version of the world's craziest Boston girlfriend with the world's worst Boston accent, and she's goddamn hilarious in it. And then Winston Duke from Black Panther and Us playing Hawk, and it's kind of like a retake on the old the Spencer and Hawk TV detective series, which I want to say it was called Spencer's Confidential, or no, because the movie is Spencer Confidential. I can't remember what the hell the show was called, but it's a really cool take on like an old idea. And yeah, Winston Duke, like it's alone worth watching for him. It's a very strange movie though. Like it was really weird, wasn't what I was expecting. And then fucking Post Malone and Cowboy Donald Cerrone both make appearances in it in the prison, and it was hilarious to see Post Malone as like a dude in just a jail jumpsuit. Like, I don't know why, but I found that hilarious.
Oh, that's who Winston Duke was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the Gorilla King.
Yeah, I like him.
Winston Duke, yeah, he plays Hawk, and he's M'Baku. Yeah, M'Baku. But yeah, really fun movie. Like, I mean, it's a Marky Mark movie. You know exactly what you're gonna get. It's Marky Mark.
So you're gonna see what is it? Daddy's Home? Is that what you're gonna see? Or Daddy's Home 2?
I saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
I've only seen the second one.
But yeah. So I was been watching a bunch of Netflix. I watched all of I think the third season of The League again on my like 7th rewatch. Just whenever I'm feeling down, I just rewatch The League because it's the fucking League, and I still laugh. Like this is the 6th or 7th time on the way through, and I'm still laughing at jokes that fucking Nick Kroll's making as Ruxin. I'm still laughing as Jeff Goldblum and his dad. I'm still laughing at Rafi Bombs. Like, I fucking love that show. It makes me happy. Yeah, it's good stuff. Other than that, I've been reading a bunch of books. doing well on my Goodreads thing, aiming for 60 again this year. I've just polished off like I think 5 graphic novels this week, so I'm doing good on my numbers again. And then played some more of my Jedi Fallen Order. I started the opening scene of The Last of Us Remastered after that downloaded the other night. Got to get into the actual like gameplay part of it though to see if I like it anywhere near as much as Willie does. We'll see. But yeah, been playing that, and then doing a bunch of Apex Legends. The Deja loot just started in Kings Canyon today. It was a week on the World's Edge. Now it's a week on Kings Canyon. It's a weird concept. One of the things that people have always complained about in Battle Royales is RNG. If you can land, you can know the terrain, but you actually never know what's going to be in a loot box. You never know what's going to be in an area with guns. It's just random. And so RNG can kill you. And so what they've done this week is Deja loot is the same every day in every spot all over the map. The flight path is the same. The circle closing is the same each day. Every day the flight path and the circles change, but the loot still doesn't move. So if you find out where that gun and the armor that you like is, you just got to land in that spot over and over and over, and then it becomes more of a game of skill, which I'm happy to say I've still won a couple. So, I'm not great. I'm not, staycation. I'm not these guys going in there dropping 15, 20 bomb kill games. But, I had a nice 9 the other day. It was kind of sweet. Like, I had a good one. So, yeah, it's been weird because it takes part of the RNG out of a Battle Royale while still playing in a Battle Royale. So it's definitely a really cool a change to how the normal gameplay, and it just gives you something else new to do, because that's the one thing that Apex Legends, as they've just passed their first anniversary, has been great at, is they keep throwing new stuff at you. We're still in a season of ranked that's going on. We still got the new world that was just opened up and a new character with a Revenant, which I think is the fourth bonus character since the game came out. Like, they've done good add stuff. And then also, while Deja Loot's going on, they also have the System Overcharge event going on, which is an event that also lets you unlock great skins with just playing through the game like normal and doing the Deja Loot stuff. And there's a free Peacekeeper skin that's awesome, and I'm almost done with it, which will get me the free Wingman skin, which looks really good. So it's another one of those ones where even if you don't pay money into it and buy the Deja Loot or the System Overcharge packs and get the Octane Heirloom, which, hey, if you got the money, cool. If you don't, some of that's just expensive. The System Overcharge stuff has just got really good loot in it, and it's free just for playing. So they did a really good job with it. Everything that I hate that EA has been involved with, it's like an Anthem and some of the other games I play, they seem to either get everything right or be a really good influence when it comes to Apex, because Apex Legends has been nothing but fun, and I'm still loving that game. And then, Dead by Daylight, we got some huge changes today. Saboteur is now totally different. Skill checks on different abilities are different now. Changes to perks. Using toolboxes are completely different. It keeps weirding me out because I use a toolbox and it's gone in like 4 seconds. I'm like, what the hell happened? And then when you use up your toolbox, you're still carrying it around, which seems really weird. So there's huge changes in the game. Lots of patch notes if you haven't read them. But then we got the new meta killer, or the new changes to the meta from the killer and the new survivor, who both have really good perks this time, which is nice to see, because it's hard. They do a new killer, they have to add in 3 perks. They do a survivor, they have to add in 3 perks. That's adding 6 perks and not breaking the game at the same time with the whatever 70 some odd perks that are already in there. So it's a hard balancing, match game, or making the math all work. But man, it's been fun playing today. And I'm going to do some Deathslinger after this, and then probably do some Survive with Friends and get Willie. Get my perks loaded up. See if we can find us some musical space cat, some godly spider. We'll have ourselves a 4-stack again, hopefully. Do some running around. I got to get my Zadia.
I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, but the new survivor's name. She's got 3
Zendaya.
It's not Zendaya.
Mary Jane.
No, it's not
I'm
that.
kidding.
But two of her perks seem pretty okay. Red Herring, I think, is going to be something that can change the game. But For the People is going to change the meta. Like, that's going to change how people play as a survivor in that game. And then, the fact that the Deathslinger has a perk that basically makes it where you don't want to break totems. Like, finally they're responding back to Nancy's ability, which has basically made everybody want to run Inner Strike, break a totem, and then have a free heal. So, it's nice that they're, as they're building Dead by Daylight, as they keep building on it, the game keeps like going back and like responding to the last thing they did. And also, I only got to play on the new map once, but the Dead Dog Saloon in Glenvale is just cool looking. Like, I can't wait. So it's going to be 1,000 matches from now before that map gets boring, and is no fun to play on. But yeah, like the fact that you can go up on a gallows and finish a generator and it drops you to the ground. I still haven't seen a killer break a wall yet. I mean, they're there, but it's also going to be cool to see how they implement that into other maps, where if killers want to break walls, they can do that to bust up loops instead of just breaking pallets. So yeah, lots of new changes. And yeah, just I think the whole game, actually, because I went in and played like 4 matches in a row, I think the whole game of Dead by Daylight got a little polish, because honestly, it just seems to be, it was just running and looking a little better this afternoon. So yeah, they publicly stated, I think we've done a good job so far, and they keep getting closer and closer to that. So it's a work in progress, but it's a hell of a game. It's fun.
So you reminded me of something I remember reading about. I don't remember it at all. So you don't lose your toolbox? You only lose the add-ons? Is that what it is?
Yes. So a med kit, toolbox, anything you bring in, if you use it up, you still have the item in your hand. So your character will still show it. I'm not sure. It might even still work for keys. If you leave with it, that item is fully recharged. So if you win the match and don't...
Just not your add-ons?
Don't drop it, but you lose your add-ons. Yeah.
Okay.
So add-ons,
you use your add-ons, you use them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, if you use a purple toolbox and you finish using all the charges of it to speed up a generator, but then you run throughout the rest of the match, you're still carrying that purple toolbox. If you leave through the exit gate or the hatch and don't die, you put that item back in your inventory.
And I hope you're ready tonight when we do play Survivors. And we go on that new map. I am going to be saying, like, death slingers from the gallows, and we don't have very long. Do the gin.
Oh, I gotta hear more.
I'm going to be singing.
Maybe I'm not
I
playing
sing all the time
tonight. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Baby, come back. You can kill
that's what I'm gonna get
me
into
later.
We'll be getting into some more here in just a bit.
Well, sounds good. Hopefully everyone who's been watching live or listening at a later date, you guys enjoyed the 3rd installment of ATGN After Dark. We'll be back to our regular time slot soon, though. But by soon, I mean this upcoming Sunday. So friendly reminder, we do stream this show live normally every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over on geeks.live, the official streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. You can also find us by going to nerds.live because, hey, I grabbed that domain and figured, why not? I'll plug it. Before we shut this thing down, any final thoughts for us, Mr. Anthony Bachman?
You mess with Spidey, you mess with all of New York, baby.
I hated that part of that.
Yeah, well, nobody asked you.
How about you,
I
Willie?
really
Final
did not
thoughts?
like it. Oh, I got 3 things. One, here's a parody song. I podcast at night with sunglasses so I can watch the way you laugh at us.
Right.
2, I do want to say, I do want to recreate my favorite line from Daybreak so far. Is very not politically correct, but who cares? It's the little 10-year-old girl telling this guy, like, hey, I need you to not be gay right now. And I don't mean gay as in homosexual, just, don't be retarded. And I don't mean retarded as in having Down syndrome, just, don't be a gay retard.
If anybody was a fan of Tiny Tina, you need to watch Daybreak, because it's basically that idea come to life. It's a psychotic 10-year-old that wants to blow stuff up.
And who is smart enough to make the things to make that happen.
Yes. And smart enough to make the bombs.
Yeah, she's smarter than all 3 of us put together, probably. She read from the Anarchist Cookbook for sure. Oh, shit. Are we on a watch list now?
Probably.
We've been on a watch.
Probably.
And last thing, since it's Throwback Tuesday, I don't fucking care. That's what I'm calling it. Bring back #DickRave.
Oh, wow. That's an
No.
old one I'd forgotten all about. We're not going to bring that back, guys.
Bring it back.
No. Not at all. Never.
On behalf of my co-host, I'm Chris Farrell saying thank you, everyone, for joining us for this special edition, randomly, differently scheduled episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. And don't worry, we'll be back next week, or I guess in like 5 days, with our typical horseshit shenanigans. Yes, I did curse. My apologies. See you all next week.
Shenanigans.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.